Hey guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris, and now that Avengers Endgame has come out, we've experienced the movie, the waterworks are still a-flowing, random moments in my day, I'm taking out the trash and it hits me. I can't believe that happened in Endgame. But putting aside the Vietnam flashbacks with Avengers Endgame, we have to look forward to what's coming with Spider-Man Far From Home. In this video, I'm going to be touching upon how Endgame changes the movie from what we understand it was going to be, specifically the repercussions of what happened in Endgame and how that universe was left that will directly affect the story told in Far From Home. Not to mention a fan theory going around that is bonkers that MJ in this movie could possibly be the daughter of Nick Fury. Oh yeah. So please be sure to like and subscribe because around here we're about to get into Spider-Man territory. And of course, spoilers. If you have not watched Avengers Endgame, please go do so. Cinematic masterpiece. I love it. Spoiler-free review on my channel and in Ending Explained if you were confused by that movie. But diving right into it, how Spider-Man Far From Home is changed because of Endgame. One major thing that the movie now has to address is the 5-year gap. Because of the way Avengers Endgame ended up is 5 years passed from the events of Infinity War. The people who were snapped in Infinity War came back the same age, but technically it is 5 years later. This is a really big repercussion that the MCU is going to face for years to come in all their following movies past Endgame. It might not seem that big of a deal, but you have to think about it this way. Let's say you and me, yeah, that's right, you, we were going to high school together during the events of Infinity War. And when Infinity War happened, I got snapped away, but you didn't. Well, after the events of Endgame, 5 years would have passed. You would be 5 years older, done with high school, moving on with your life, probably has a job somewhere out there, probably mopping up all the dust left behind by Thanos. Growing career, I bet. But then I would come back being 15 years old again and still needing to go back to high school to finish it out. This is also such a weirdly convenient thing that the Marvel Universe did, that every important character from Far From Home snapped away so that they could be the same age 5 years later after the events of Endgame. I mean, you have MJ, you have Flash, you have Ned, you have Peter. That entire class that goes on the cruise, there has to be at least a few classmates that didn't get snapped away and have to be addressed of, hey man, Frank over there is 5 years older, man. He's got a house and kids. What'd you get for B on the math test today? And this also confirms exactly why in the trailer we had no date set on Peter Parker's passport. I think everyone who got snapped away is going to be needing a new passport, and why he probably got one, because even though 5 years has passed, you're still the same age, so your passport needs to match those credentials. We also know for sure, thanks to Amy Pascal, Sony executive there, she told us that the movie is going to take place moments after Endgame. So Spider-Man Far From Home will most likely begin at the funeral for Tony Stark. We know every single Spider-Man movie except Homecoming had a funeral in it, so this would meet the one funeral per Spider-Man movie quota. But jumping off of that, we now have a clearer understanding where the new suit from Spider-Man Far From Home is going to come from, because we know Tony Stark is not around to help him out and upgrade his new suit. If anything, the kid is not going to want to put on that old suit or the Iron Spider suit. One, because he probably doesn't know how to keep upgrading the Iron Spider suit, which is a suit that probably needs a lot of maintenance, and wearing his classic suit is just going to remind him too much of Tony Stark. A lot of us think that it's going to be S.H.I.E.L.D. who's going to help him out and mesh together the stealth suit with the classic suit together. But what's really going to happen is I think Peter is finally going to take the reins for himself and build a suit that really resembles his character and do away with all the Tony Stark technology, having his own version of Jarvis in there. It's going to be something symbolic for Peter to do in this movie, because just like Happy Hogan says in the trailer, you're all alone. So Spider-Man will need to create this suit by himself, and I think that's going to really please fans who are kind of not that happy with the teched out suit from Homecoming. But now getting to it, the theory that all of you guys are scratching your head about, MJ could possibly be the daughter of Nick Fury. This all began with a Reddit post of someone giving an elongated explanation of why this could be true. I'll go ahead and link it for you in the description if you want to go ahead and read all the points, but basically they suggest that MJ, Zendaya's character, is going to be an estranged daughter of Nick Fury. Not necessarily someone that Nick Fury goes home to every night of, hey kiddo, did you do your homework yet? Oh, don't forget to shower, brush your teeth. No, you can't have a cat. You see what one did to my eye? That it'll just be one of Nick Fury's flings from the past that comes back to haunt him, and is just someone he constantly keeps an eye on but doesn't want to get involved because he lives a dangerous life and doesn't want to put that on a child, which would also be the main reason why Nick Fury is actually following the class on the trip to Europe. Because Nick Fury is not there to keep an eye on Spider-Man or to help out with the mission. He's there to protect his daughter and keep an eye out for her. And this is actually something super common with the character of Spider-Man. He always gets involved with someone in his life that's connected to a villain or someone personal to him. I mean, you have his best friend who also happens to be the son of his main arch enemy, the Green Goblin. You had Gwen Stacy, the love of his life, who just happened to be connected to the police chief, Captain Stacy, who hated Spider-Man and everything he did. And in Spider-Man Homecoming, we saw the Vulture be the father of Peter's main love interest in that movie, of course, creating a conflict. So this would just be another way of connecting Spider-Man's love interest to someone in his life. And before I give you the juiciest part of why this is possible, I just want to go ahead and say I don't like this theory. I do not hope it's true. I just think it is a little too convenient, random, and way too similar to Homecoming. Just keep having Spider-Man's love interest be connected to somebody in his life. And to me, it just feels like someone putting together two people who are the same color and saying, hey, they're probably related. So that's what I was thinking. This is so dumb. This is so stupid. Not gonna happen. And then someone hit me with this image right here. During the credits for Spider-Man Homecoming, they play little sketches of the cast members drawing funny things that connect with their characters. When they play Zendaya's MJ character, they draw an eye patch on her. Out of all the things you could have done for her character to sketch out, why an eye patch? And we know the MCU loves to have their plans. I mean, they probably have the next 10 movies planned out for the Marvel Universe, so you can't tell me in Homecoming they were like, she's eventually going to be Nick Fury's daughter, so let's leave a little Easter eggs for them to find in the future. Well, we found it, Marvel. And now you're probably hoping we didn't. But anyways, guys, that's just some of the things that changed Spider-Man Far From Home thanks to the events of Endgame. What do you think of this crazy theory that MJ might be Nick Fury's daughter? I hope it's not true. Always curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Film Review. As always, I'm Chris. Take care.